somebody's campaign coffers really are struggling right now. So she gonna keep saying trans, 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 so that people will feel threatened. And child, listen, I want y'all to tell me whether or not.
Do not call me a child. I am no child.
I want
Don't
to
even
find
start.
out
I am a grown
which
woman.
of those
emails
I
have broken
actually
more
have.
glass ceilings than
Chairman,
you
I
ever.
am reclaiming my
Let's go.
time.
You will not do that. I
Order.
am not a child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not in order.
Order.
Point of order.
Order.
A couple of things. First of all, why is it that every time there's disorder and arguments in congressional committees, there's always one representative that keeps saying, Mr. Chairman, the committee's not in order, all while the chair is banging the gavel and trying to get it back into order? Yeah, bro, we already know that it's not in order. That's why he's trying to get it back.
Chairman, I am reclaiming my time.
You will not do that. I
Order.
am not a child.
I am reclaiming my time.
If you want to take it outside,
Mr. Chairman, the committee is not in order.
Order.
Point of order.
Order.
So we get it. It's not in order. But number two, Nancy Mace hit her daily self-righteous quota by getting offended over what she apparently thought was Representative Crockett calling her a child. We don't have to get into an explainer about what she actually said because it doesn't matter to the attention-seeking Mace, who thought it would be a good look to demand a fight like the fellas did last year.
Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me, any place, anytime, cowboy. Sir, this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution every poll?
No, sit down. Sit down. Okay. You're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
I guess getting into a street fight is the next glass ceiling that Nancy Mace is ready to break, with no worry about being called ghetto or treated like an angry white woman for demanding that a committee hearing turn into a fight club. Her desire to keep her name mentioned and in the middle of drama while she touts her commitment to be a maverick is something everyone has noticed in the past couple of years.
I'm wearing the scarlet letter after the week that I just had last week, being a woman up here and being demonized for my vote and for my voice. I'm here to let the rest of the world know and the country know I'm on the side of the people. I'm not on the side of the establishment, and I'm going to do the right thing every single time, no matter the consequences.
Hey everyone, Congresswoman Nancy Mace here. I'm in front of Trump Tower today, and I remember in 2015 when President Trump announced his run. I was one of his earliest supporters. I actually worked for the campaign in 2016. I worked in 7 different states across the country to help get him elected. I supported him again in 2020 because of policies I believed in. If you want to lose this seat once again in midterm election cycle to Democrats, then my opponent is more than qualified to do just that.
Her staff playbook was shown to have much more to do with seeking attention than it was about legislating.
Now, Mace has managed to become a high-profile member of the Republican House caucus in less than 3 years on the job. And that has a lot less to do with her record or accomplishments than her uncanny ability to find a camera. But this is all part of her plan, as Jake LaHutte explains in this fascinating new profile in the Daily Beast. Quote, for Mace, what seems to matter most isn't what kind of attention she gets, just that she's at the center of it. Jake, you got your hands on some briefing materials that staffers have to sort of give to other staffers about like what the Congresswoman likes. These exist in a lot of offices. And what'd you learn from that?
You were required to pitch one tweet a day minimum. And it was, so she sort of had this like all staff writer's room dynamic going on.
Staffers on the communications team were told they needed to book Mace on a national TV outlet between 1 and 3 times per day. Per day? A staggering 9 times per week at a minimum, according to former staffers who had seen past handbooks and on local TV channels at least 6 times per week.
So that's Nancy Mace's track record of extreme self-promotion. And this proposed fight with Jasmine Crockett in this committee organizational meeting turned heated because she was challenged on her latest solution in search of a problem that happens to target some of the most powerless people in the country.
4 years ago, I came out as transgender while serving as student body president in college. At the time, I was scared. I worried that my dreams and my identity were mutually exclusive.
How do you feel about her rise to this kind of prominence? Being a member of Congress is a big deal, and I can't see any other accomplishment other than being a transgender.
Well, I've broken many glass ceilings. As you said, I was the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina. I'm the first Republican woman ever elected to Congress from the great state of South Carolina. It is offensive that a man in a skirt thinks that he's my equal.
Not be in the locker room, should not be in changing rooms, should not be in our restrooms either. And I'm going to be standing in the brink, standing in his or her way, putting a stop to this insanity and this nonsense. She doesn't get a say. This is about real women and women's rights. And the far left, radical left, they want to erase women and women's rights, and I'm not going to let them. I've been strong on women's rights for several years now, and it's time to make sure that we protect women and girls everywhere.
Is this effort in response to Congresswoman McBride's coming to Congress?
Yes, and absolutely, and then some. I'm not going to stand for a man, if someone with a penis is in the women's locker room, that's not okay. And I'm a victim of abuse myself. I'm a rape survivor. I have PTSD from the abuse I've suffered at the hands of a man.
Her crusade against incoming Representative Sarah McBride came out of nowhere. McBride didn't win her election and then declare that how eager she is to use the women's restroom or the locker rooms and hang out with folks like Nancy Mace. Her election was simply an opportunity for Mace to use her existence as a stepping stone to more MAGA attention, while spreading more hatred in our society. And it continued into this meeting that she hoped would result in some punches being thrown.
It's time that we stop wasting American taxpayers. It is time that we stop wasting time up here on the Hill. We stop wasting time here in Congress talking about BS. And someone brought up dignity earlier. I would love to see dignity and respect for women up here on the Hill, which is why we should ban men from women's spaces, which is why we should ban men from the locker rooms, from women's locker rooms, which is why we should ban men from women's dressing rooms. I'm done with this. We got to get back to common sense. We got to get back to fighting and working hard for the American people, and we've got to do it together. So you guys can talk all you want on the left side of the aisle. You're not going to be successful because there was a mandate in November, the most historic mandate by Donald John Trump. And the American people want us to get our stuff together. Notice how I'm not cursing today. They want us to get our stuff together and work for the American people, and that starts now.
But when it comes to addressing the actual issues that Americans are concerned about, Representative Crockett detailed why she refuses to waste more taxpayer dollars and attention on a problem that does nothing but benefit Nancy Mace's quest for promotional attention.
I have yet to hear an actual testimony of someone who, for whatever reason, has experienced this in real time, but I can tell you some real numbers and some real facts, because I don't like to live in fantasy when I'm talking about how I'm going to govern for the American people. The facts are, in my state alone, in the state of Texas, once they decided that they were going to overturn the Roe decision, 26,000 women then ended up raped. 26,000 is what we had reported. And that was only within about a year's time span. And when they reported those rapes, none of them seemed to have anything to do with trans folk. And I don't recall any legislation to help out those women in Texas and beyond that are actually dying. We're not projecting may die, but are actually dying or have died in southern states that have decided that they wanted to go after our reproductive freedoms. So while we look at how we protect women completely differently, I can tell you that at least in the 766,000 women or 766,000 constituents that I represent, I have had them come to me concerned about whether or not they could survive childbirth. But I have not had a single person in my district tell me that they were concerned that they may be raped by a trans person.